I'm here with Honorable Sergius Ogun. Of course, let me say good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a privilege that you are able to find time out of a very busy schedule. And I know that Nigerians are itching not only to understand what is happening in your constituency in Edo North, if I got that very correctly, but of course, there are also very pressing issues. If we look at the committee that you happen to have a stake in, that has to do with the petroleum sector in the country. And we know that there was a recent revelation about 80% of our crude being taken away by those whose identities we're still thinking what it is. Can you really, let's begin from first, Honorable, let the viewer know what part of the country you represent before we touch on those very important issues, sir.
Okay, well, thank you very much for having me. Yeah. I am Sergius Ogun.
Yes, sir.
I represent Eastern Northeast, Eastern Southeast.
Yes, sir.
And I'm from Edo State. I think what is happening in the Niger Delta right now is a shame.
Okay.
And just maybe close to what is happening in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Where we have been fighting the Boko Haram for how many years now? We have committed so much. Because I do not understand when we have a government in a country that is supposedly funding the armed forces.
Yeah.
And our mainstay, which is crude oil, will be stolen under the nose of the armed forces. I'm using the word armed forces, comprising of Army, Navy, Air Force. The Navy are not engaged in the Northeast.
Yeah.
So they are available to tackle whatever is happening in the creeks.
All right.
If the little bunkering they are doing for the artisan or the refineries that they are doing, they are taking those ones from the estuary.
Yeah.
You know, they just
close to the water.
Take there. But from the estuary, they come into the sea. Because from there, they load barges or load boats that will go to the sea to go and discharge in a big vessel. And no vessel can enter Nigerian water without the knowledge of NPA, NIMASA, or Navy. So is it that the Navy are escorting these barges or these vessels that are stealing our crude oil?
That's a big question, sir.
There's a joint task comprising of Army, Police, Navy, Civil Defense. What are they all doing? Set up to guard this pipeline or to prevent this bunkering, illegal bunkering. But bunkering is legal.
Yes, of course.
But illegal bunkering. What are they doing? To say now that the price of crude oil is over $100 per barrel, this should have been the windfall that Nigerians prayed for. But to say we cannot even meet our OPEC quota, OPEC is saying bring more right now, and we can't even meet it.
But as somebody who actually is a part of the committee, if I'm very correct, that oversees the upstream sector, if I'm correct, what has your committee evolved in terms of strategy or ideas to actually be able to deal with this particular hydra-headed monster, sir?
Well, we have invited the IOCs, the international oil companies,
yes, sir, to
let us know what they know, because they cannot claim not to know. We have also invited the independents and then the marginal field owners.
Yes, sir.
Because they are all suffering from this. We just finished with the GMD NNPC right now, and he's giving us assurance that, look, the president is very concerned with this, and he's giving a command to the Chief of Defense Staff to make sure that they eliminate those stealing. And there are other devices they say he told us they have put in place, and he has said within 2 months he's sure that they will make tremendous progress to curb this stealing of our crude oil.
All right. One thing that is close to the petroleum sector is the security of the country. I would really like your thought because, for instance, we know that Abuja is obviously close to Kaduna, 2 hours back and forth. Is there anything at the level of legislation and maybe monitoring, evaluation, and oversight that the House of Reps members, particularly being a lawmaker and a stakeholder, are doing to really give Nigerians reprieve from this problem?
I'm a member of the Committee on Army.
Okay.
So I'm privy to some of the meetings we have heard from the Chief of Army Staff to other level of, other cadre of officers.
Yeah.
They have complained about funding, and I think to a large extent the government has tried funding. And what we have said as a committee is we need to know how these monies are spent.
Right.
It's not enough to say, give us money. You must tell us how you are spending the money. So to talk about the issues with, you only talked about Kaduna, Niger.
Is it closer?
So, and all these things are happening. All the security issues are happening in the states. So we have given, the president has given a marching order. I don't think it's enough. Because people believe that there's connivance between maybe some army officers with the bandits. Now, they have arrested some people, some of the serving officers. We don't know whether they have been tried and jailed in the past. We have heard of these things. The point here is, if the military officers are not well compensated and they connive with bandits and they make more money from it, and we do not have the intelligence to bust that racket, it will be a huge racket and everybody will suffer from it.
All right.
That we didn't have intelligence to stop whatever happened on that rail line, Kaduna Abuja rail line. We didn't have the intelligence to stop that. That the people targeted the, well, it's common knowledge that it's only big men that will be in a VIP couch. So you don't need any, it's no rocket science to know that. You know, now we heard that I've released one person and maybe one individual will pay about 100 million to be released. So if tomorrow you get those coaches running again, you have to do something to entice people to go there. So I think more than anything, I don't think it's boots on ground alone. I think it's the intelligence. If you have enough intelligence before the bandits come out, you eliminate them. You'll be waiting for them. But because intelligence is not there, they come out at will, do whatever they have to do, and they get away with it. This has emboldened them. And they're also making a whole lot of money from it. So I think, besides just sending more troops there or funding the troops, I think we need intelligence force. They have to infiltrate the ranks of those bandits. That's what CIA will do. You know, how did they crack the KKK, you know, in the US? You know, Roosevelt sent people in there undercover, and they got their even the IRA in the UK.
Yeah.
People went undercover, people went in there, got their mode of operations and all that. That's how they're able to put those deadly organizations down. So why are we not doing that here? We have the Department of State Security. You know, we have the NIA. What are they all doing? You know? So I think with more intelligence, it's not so much of the boots on ground. I think we need intelligence to be able to know what these guys are doing and then go after them.
So let's look at one more thing very quickly. The 2023 elections are just around the corner. The opposition party, APC, has announced primaries for May the 30th. The PDP is yet to tell us when the primaries will hold. And many things are happening. How do you see 2023? Briefly, sir.
I pray to God that there will be a 2023 election.
Okay.
It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. But my prayer is that there will be elections in 2023. That will be my prayer, because with all that is happening around Kaduna and all, that can easily be an excuse for anything to happen. But I pray the primaries will happen, that the politicians that are disappointed will not overheat the polity. They should take it as a game of you can win today and you can lose tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I know people will lose out from the primaries.
Yeah.
Some will cross carpet to another party. Others will hit up the system because they have spent money and they have lost. Well, my advice to them is this business is risky.
Yeah.
Just like any other business.
Yeah.
So you have to, it's a calculated risk. Know how much you invest. If you think you plunge everything in there, you will win. If you do that, you don't win. Count your losses and then maybe go home. It's better to have a country where you can someday represent in any capacity than to burn down the whole country in one day because you didn't get what you wanted or what you aspired for. Yeah. That would be my advice. But I'm very concerned about 2023. And my prayers is that we should have a successful general elections to produce the next set of leaders.
I want to say a big thank you to you, Honorable Sergius, for talking to us. Sincere appreciation to you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.